Now should be the way I like it. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have assumed a BizHog will run it fine. Usually BizHog is like good for like just about everything, but I guess like the specific ROM hack it's not good for. Also, let me know if the music is fine now. I'll say Rockhawk. Yep, Pearl is not only my follower alert, but my favorite Steven Universe character. I also have a Pearl plush here. One of my little prides and joy. Had her for like, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years now. Yeah, I love Steven Universe. Huge fan of it. Lapis? Lapis is like my second favorite. Pearl and Spinel are like about the same for me. I love them both like about equally. And then Lapis and Peridot are like kind of below them. I do them quite a lot as well. Do you think they forgore? No one can make such a blunder, princess. So are we at Lon Lon Ranch? Oh shit! Yo, Mario's dead! Damn! March 17th, Hyrule Grand Court. Ashura Stevani? Ooh, Stevani's pretty cool. You think after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to this stress. So why am I shaking? Yeah, guess it's a lot of work when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Hey, you, over there. What is the attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But we'll be soon, right? Do you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Wahaha. Well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she was currently in the prosecutor's lobby. He wanted to talk to her as well. Hey, Polly. This is a ROM hack that turns Ocarina of Time into an Ace Attorney case. So we gotta find out who did the murdering. And I'm Phoenix Link. Classic Persecutor. She'll be here before the trial. Great, that'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Sometime later. Okay, it's ridiculous. How much longer can you keep her? Ah, see? There she is. No need to get all worked up. It's Malin. Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No, don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malin. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castle Town all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. Everything's fine. Why you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. Found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the Persecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. Get to explain in detail what will happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion needed to happen right before the trial. You probably just Desu wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I'd never. Of course I believe you. Wow. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. Sigh. What's that you've got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of father I carry around. I just can't believe he's gone. I wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. Not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Yo, badge! Badge! I got a badge. Proof that I can stand in court as an attorney. Also, hey, Alex. Hope you're doing well. Good pin. We're so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Ah well, here you go then. Malin's pictograph added to the court record. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but can you tell me what exactly happened? I don't stand much of a chance, so I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there isn't much to... The trial is starting. Defendant, attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Uh-oh, shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The persecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense... Oh, this was made by British people. Because that's like a C and not an S. One of my fair share of cases and lost some too, but this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Oh, see, they're not American because it's not S-T-E-A-K like the food. That's how you know. We got 2 for 2 here. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Of course, it's Ganondorf as the, Rauru is the judge? Okay, that's really appropriate. I figured Ganondorf... Well, I knew Ganondorf was the persecutor. But obviously that makes sense. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Yeah, Link's looking kind of snazzy. Dragmire? Yo, they pulled out his government name for this. Dragmire? He's referred to as Dragmire like once in the entire series, I think. What were they thinking? Pitting me against some pathetic kid? Pathetic kid? What gives you the right? Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Okay, fucking Manfred Van Karma over here. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? Now, of course, no place to be exchanging insults. Since the persecution seems ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. The girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. All so she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? Ha! Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse a defendant like this. She committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Bah. I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all of this damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can you speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently he prides himself on a nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades, all while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has that look at the very least. Who wears a full armor to court? Very well, please present your case to the court. Humph. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring Impa of the Sheikah force to the stand. Well, here we go, the first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. I like how they even they have him the defeated kind of pose that Phoenix does. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, Persecutor? I like her outfit. Any possible change would be for the worse. Now stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. Yeah, can I just pop out that badge right now? True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. And he smacks that table so much. You're the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity? Say that again? Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement. I suppose I can do the Persecutor's job for him this time, for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, Detective. Incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I have seen the man... Yo, it's got the owl music in the background too. Kind of a banger. Delivering goods. Quite. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it is operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the Crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Continue, Detective. When the Sheikah Force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succulent. Keep that up, and perhaps you'll keep your job. I'll say, hey, Sadistic, hope you're doing well. Ho ho, I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? Ah, that would be because I've been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I am not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. I imagine the King wanted the top investigators on his job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Order, order. I will have order. The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime. Ha! And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. Things are getting intense here, huh? The reasons for arrest. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards the girls being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. Smells unfortunate. So I think with the pictograph, there were 4 people. I'd like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. An autopsy report to be performed by the Crown's top coroner. Cool. The murder weapon. Got the saw from the trading quest. Conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see if anything was missing. Matches the list exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. Okay, we've got the inventory. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're only going to paint Malin as some heartless monster. There is one more thing I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after he arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? Shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally, who do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all of the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to only be milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well, thank you for your thoroughness, detective. Milk shipments. So what happens now? Well, this is where I step in to perform a cross-examination. Great, how does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Can't have to go over this again. I know Ace Attorney, but we'll do this just because. When it says repeat their testimony, I'll be able to scroll back and forth with individual statements, pressing A and B or the directional pad. You'll repeat it just as many times as you want. Oh my gosh. That's right, I have to consider every little detail, can't miss a thing. If I want more info about something, I can press L or Z to press the statement and ask the witness a question. Grill them for info. Yep. Since the witness has to come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. The court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yes. I can open it at any time if I need to recheck the facts. After choosing a contradicting item, I'll press C up to raise an objection and present my doubts to the courts. Oh, I can not only present evidence, but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all the people involved, too. I can switch between evidence and profiles with R. If an AD review has been said recently, I'll also press start to see a history of messages. Carrying knives. Is defense done whispering? Haha, sorry. If he's so upset about it, why doesn't he just press blank to skip ahead? Oh. Defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Bah, a waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmeyer. In the case, we're ready. Defense, please begin the cross-examination. Alright, let's do this. I think it's presenting the pictograph on the statement about how many people are on the farm. The reasons for arrest. Three people, you say? I guess that had to be Mr. Ingo. Let me stop you before I start getting too excited. If you listen to the rest of the detective said, you know she mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the rancher couldn't have been involved. Oh, what's his alibi then? I remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. While the worker Ingo was in charge of them, he left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing shipments after that. Is that so? Surely you could have gotten away with that. Gotten away from that for one really quick murder. Bah, this would only just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. You had to taken steps to hide his involvement, too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all into crates, and finally load it up into a wagon. You'd had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments are already ready when we arrived at the ranch. We checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own. Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly he's a man who's dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me. I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. Oh, right, yeah. I forgot, like, Malin was, like, murdered. Or, like, Mario was murdered. Okay, so... it's this. Because if the saw is clean of blood, then that couldn't have been a weapon. Right, I think that would make sense. The autopsy report, deep irregular wound made with it. Why does he have it? The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch house that could produce such a wound. As already mentioned, we also looked closely at all the sharpenings on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. So it doesn't necessarily mean the saw was a murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hit the real one. Oh yeah? Prove it then. Show us the real weapon. Don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. What a waste of time. That's it right there, right? If it's a clean saw, then their argument doesn't add up. Huh, this seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. Oh, Link's got he's got the receipts. The save saw is currently in is how you found at the crime scene. That's correct. That's strange. Considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Huh, is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, the cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Bah. Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Gah. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence. Damn. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. But then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh, goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot, though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha! A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah Force had to use a fairy on a defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit, she is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain the sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Ho ho, why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I stabbed my hand with the gavel and one took the pain off immediately. Great, glad to know they're used for such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. Dang indeed. I believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is all I could get out of her? You served your purpose, Sheikah. Begone! Fine. But you had best treat her highness with respect, or I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we could fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. Order? Order? I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. This case already made me weary of all the pointless jabber. Time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness Princess Zelda of Hyrule to the stand. It's a Zelda. Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah. In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation, now. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh man. It is alright, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On the stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. Kinda sus. Ganondorf. Mr. Dragmire. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I am Zelda, current princess of Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? Ah, it is simple, really. Lon Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castle town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule's royal guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the steeds. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Yep. You work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Ha! Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate the ranch may no longer meet the crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust? We are looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. Here I go. Badge. That is true, we need the badge. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I'll never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Tal and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such a horrible violence. What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Objection. Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is defense's right. You complete. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination, no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I've only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library. Humph. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations toward the princess. Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible the Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that this testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. My chance to run ads. Because it's near the top of the hour. Also, hey Rohan, hope you're doing well. Good to see you, gamer. But yeah, we are around the top of the hour, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and run our ads really quick. And we'll be back in like 3 or so minutes. You won't miss anything. See you all in a few. Also, cats. Alright, gamers, I'm back. Unfortunately, that means no more cats. Also, congrats on the 40-year stream streak, Rohan. Or I mean Y27, but you too, Rohan, I guess. Before we begin, there's just one more thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume? Why, yes, that's exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that Father intended to give to Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out of town to get it at the last moment. But they know the princess was coming instead of the king until only 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle to be accepted into evidence. Bah. Desperate to latch on to every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, court accepts this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. The scene behind the door. I remember being surprised how quiet there was somebody there to welcome us. Yeah, so like, this doesn't add up, right? Because she was like knocked out. Like, what if I present Malin on this one? You lie, Your Highness, and I have the proof. Can you be any more rude? This is royalty you're speaking to. Getting lectured on rudeness by this guy? Well, let's see what it is you're waving around. It's, this. Ah, you're rude and wrong, it turns out. Nope, okay, that wasn't it. Oh, sorry, I lost a life. Well, I'll probably have to, okay, like, press her on this. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That's impossible, you're lying. The defendant will curb her outbursts. You're addressing royalty. This is really bad. What now? Accuse Zelda of the crime. Ask about the crime scene. The ranch owner was in front of a little table directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now please continue. Asked while I was outside? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when a courier came asking about milk shipments. It caused a little bit of a scene when Ashika Forest started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Drat, doesn't really give me a whole lot to work with. Accuse Zelda of the crime. Well, if you were there alone, how can we know you didn't do it? Accusing the princess? Pathetic. The defense is truly grasping at straws. You fool. You think a child could overpower a grown adult, one who does hard manual labor every day? And besides, why would the princess even want to take the life of a measly ranch owner? And not just any ranch owner, one of the crown had a most successful business relationship with. Idiotic. Simply idiotic. Well, maybe the crown wanted the ranch for themselves. Has the defense lost their mind? Cease this line of questioning immediately. Perhaps a penalty would disabuse the defense from further unsubstantiated accusations? No, it's fine, No. Then perhaps the defense wants to bid farewell to their head. I hear traitors are dealt with swiftly these days. Yeah, you would know, Ganondorf. Gulp. I extend my most sincere apologies. I don't know what came over me. Nonetheless, I believe a penalty is still very much warranted. Well, that was a stupid thing to say. There's definitely something off about her statement, though. Nope, that's enough. Press this with the crystal thing. Pay attention to something like that. Spent a long time waiting for the Sheikah Force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. It being quiet? Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No, this is my first one. Up until last year, my father was always wanting to visit Lon Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. What happened when we got to the ranch house? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense, I believe it was clear about not badgering the witness. Chat, I need to calm down. Press this one. Are you sure you got a good look then? You didn't look away in panic? Princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There was only to doubt what she saw. Yes, I suppose what you did was admirable. If only we had arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. Ha! So you would have lashed out anyone trying to stab you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please go on. I mean, I'll press this, but I'm sure that's not gonna, add up to anything. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Malon didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Of course, evidence and testimony be damned, just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Oh, well, if you're sure, then I declare today's verdict. Have you gone senile, old man? It was a joke, much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. Damn. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. To trust authority or your best friend? I'll need something very concrete to dispute what the princess is saying. So, is it like the autopsy report, I think? Yeah, because she would have had to have seen her, wipe off the blood, if this is true. I think that's it. Now, I'm probably couldn't wipe off the blade while the princess was watching. But it's not entirely out of the question. Well, at least I get penalized for that. Irregular wound? I'll press this statement just so we're pressing everything. We did question the guards, naturally. Probably didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. As the was inside, as the guard insisted that no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. I read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards are absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, witness. So it'll probably be the same if I present the cloth. He'll say, yeah, Link's gonna say the same thing as like with the blade. I mean, that's gonna be relevant, but like later. Is it like the autopsy report? Is it because it's is it because she said hacking and it's like irregular wound? I think I see why he's so desperate to prevent this cross-examination now. Are the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Visit was scheduled for 8:30, but we were quite early. Makes for somebody then mention something quite impossible. Vim definitely... Oh, wait. Oh, okay, right. The wording. So it happened before 8 a.m. For some reason I was thinking it was like shortly after 8 a.m. was like what it was saying. I was just like reading through it too quickly. You couldn't have seen a defendant attack the ranch owner when you were early because the victim was already dead by then. Order? Order? Yes, you really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my courts. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw a defendant there, though, along with the body. There was no one else who could have done it. I remember all of the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. Perhaps it would be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. No, that's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. Have to find something else or the case will be over. So now it's probably going to be like wiping the saw blade off. What I actually saw. Saw. I am sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malin and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprits. Thonking. You only saw the aftermath and not the actual crime. Very well. Hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, time for your cross-examination. Dragmice looks pretty angry. They didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. Find us another one like that, she'll become untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. Alright. Did not see the actual moment of the attack, but had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. So like... No, he's not here. I think, like, do I present the pictograph to say that, like, Ingo could have potentially have done it? Evidence reveals a clear contradiction. Oh, it, like, spoils it, because, like, you see the hearts in the top left. The original is, like, Ace Attorney games do this, too. So you just, like, know when you're wrong. Okay, well, like, maybe I like press a statement. Are you sure man was the only person there? There's an upstairs room where someone was hiding there. Don't be stupid, Defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out the window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up. Actually, those windows can't even be open. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's count, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, I think it's something about, like, Malin being passed out, or, like, wiping the blade, but I don't know, like, exactly how I'm supposed to present that evidence. The victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? Oh, there it is. Is that what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try and hide the weapon. Yes. I may have seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close in doing so. Oh my. This seems like a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragomir certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. There we go. Still stuck into the body after all. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmire, care to explain? Grah. This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? I... Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim. And then wipe the blade clean? That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. Have you seen a saw being saw with a saw while the saw is being saw? I have seen Saw 4. Saw 4D's nuts. Oh, got him. You idiotic girl. They should have done like the surprise Zelda gaffs thing right there. Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling? I am sorry. I was just so excited to stand as witness in court just this once. Whenever I try to tell my father about anything, he always seems so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I want to play a part in this case. I am sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. Get out of here, princess. The court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we'll have to strike your statements from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost their key witness. Ooh, get fucked, Dragmire. No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterward. Bah. Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Even if you're not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah Forest investigated inside the ranch, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order? Order? What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this information from the court? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be all that important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Bah. Naturally, I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then it's probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense? What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case, too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely, you won't throw away all the progress you made thus far. What do I do? We gotta give us that evidence. I really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you, in order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it must be admitted as testimony along with everything else she might say. Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic, foolish... Order. Very well, then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Thank you. I will not let you down this time. I promise. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope the new evidence isn't damaging to our case. What did the princess find? My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant pass out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I still guarded the entrance to the ranch house till the Sheik of Forest arrived. Once they started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned-out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. A bottle of oil to burn something. Interesting. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well, of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on the ranch? Please. What next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? Well, The prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts the right to cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on this charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. We haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statement. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous. Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into the evidence. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense, for both your sake and your clients. Bottle of oil. What happens if we press this statement here? Was there anything else in the room? The beautiful crystal ball I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most everything's on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch businesses these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course. Dad's famous Kuko game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. Like, is the fact that lamp oil is nothing, it's like not written here, right? Like, I think that's something to go off of. Like, let's press this statement. Like, I feel like that or the fire. Like, something about the fact that it's not in the inventory is sus. You can still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morn. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. There was still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipments together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you wanted to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without anything concrete to pin on him, he'll just be able to brush it off. Press that even though I don't know if it'll do anything. I shall either present it. I was the one to find it, and since I was going to the trial anyway, other ridiculousness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. So if it had a strong odor, it would be the perfume, maybe? Yeah, like the strong, like, what does she think the odor? What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. A really terrible stench. Surely you don't mean to say you found a smell of horse manure suspicious. Don't be ridiculous. It was not coming from the horses. Oh, nope. I'm almost out of hearts. Okay. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. Like, something to do with that. I mean, I guess I press more information somewhere. I guess I can press this. Like, maybe we don't quite get to that yet. Hey, Spock. This has been really interesting so far. I like the work that got put into it, for sure. Yeah, well, she woke up and lashed out at you. Sweet, high up above. I thought that not occurred to me. Bah, of course it did not. Foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in the royal guard. Yes, of course I do. Huh. Or it's that, like, maybe I was right initially, like, because it's not in the inventory. Nope, that's not it. We're dead. It's not in the inventory. Like, it's gotta be something. I think that is enough. I feel I've seen enough to announce the verdict this time. The defense has failed to establish a likely alternative scenario to the one presented by the prosecution. Malin. Guilty. Defendant has submitted herself to the king to have her fate decided. The court is adjourned. Damn. What was the... I wonder how this game counts scenes. Oh, so it goes right here. Okay, it's, consult. Press as same as I can and see what happens. See, it's like what happens a lot when I do like Ace Attorney games too. It's like, I think I know what the problem is, I just don't know like what exact evidence it is that they want you to present. Because I can always like think of things like, I can like feel like justifications for like why, why like a statement is like important. Like, is it because, like, why wouldn't he have, like, greeted them if he was outside? What does Malin think? Yeah, like, I don't think there's, like, anything in, like, that yet. I mean, I can press this one again. I don't know, like the autopsy report, because like the timing? Why there would be a fire? There's no need to press the princess on her apology. Yikes. Didn't just go home, took longer than enough. I was not spending back in the castle until much later. Came around to examine the horses, so I suppose I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take Chica to arrive at the scene? It's not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle to Lon Lon Ranch. And I imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, though I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes. I would be there in half that time, running backwards even. I suppose it's no surprise though. Hylian horses are naturally inferior to fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch too, you just don't bother. He's trying to rile you up. Well, okay, like, didn't I use the autopsy report on this already? That's what I'm thinking, like, it's something to do with, like... The cloth? Yeah, I'm honestly, like, at a loss here. Like, I feel like it's gotta be something to do with, like, the perfume bottle and, like, the odor. Mal just keeps saying the same thing. I guess I can try pressing all the statements and see if they say something. Like if something new pops up. I mean, I think I did already. Is it like the milk shipments onto that? Because like why like it means that Ingo was like getting those together and also making the fire? So it's like what I meant earlier, like I get the idea of like what is wrong, I just don't know like the specific statement that needs like the specific piece of evidence to like progress. I believe that is enough. Oh, here, yeah, so I was just supposed to, like, press every single statement. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Actually, I said it was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us? No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important. Leave my sight. Enough. Your Highness, if you allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Now the princess's little game is over, we can move this along. Prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I believe I am nearly ready to hand down my own verdict. But, Your Honor, There's nothing that definitively shows that Malin committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father. Ah, that is an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. Bah, I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I'd like to call in my third witness. It has to be the ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double-check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Very well, I do leave a break would benefit us all. The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Alright. It's not going that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. Ugh, can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in the house. Now, there's no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The character's being prepared. Thought I'd drop by in the meantime. Really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have? Listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over there in the prosecutor's lobby. Ah. He's really giving this upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything you could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh, but you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I am willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say may be the only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he is the only one who could have lit that fire. If he's hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. Then his next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. We'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Trying to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm was paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of heir very suddenly. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. What? Hyrule still agrees after the events of that day. And yet, no one knows exactly what happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok, people blaming the royal guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. Beginning with history as turbulent as ours is a lot to handle. Princess' conduct today probably won't help the distrust some people have with the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn, and she will be better. I'll simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected Impa to get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa. What is it, soldier? I am quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has just sent word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of our own recipient address. We're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess back to the castle. Roger. Huh, interesting. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple of guards who was slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, it's still unopened. Oh, thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. Sigh, I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? Long Long milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. It's not Long Long milk. Huh, you're right then. I assume this will come from one of yesterday's shipments? Probably. The investigation at the ranch wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. Doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this is all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I'd better make some notes about this in the court record. Note about the shipment's return added to the court record. Long Long milk added. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Cool. And I think that makes for a good place for us to go ahead and take another quick little break before we go back into the courtroom. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and run our ads again really quickly. And we're back in just a couple minutes. See ya, gamers, in a few. Alright, gamers, I'm back. So now let's get our badges ready. So it comes down to this. The conclusion is approaching. Oh, I got my hearts back. Let's go. Court is back in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I personally have seen to it there'll be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. Motive. For naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. Prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. Ha! It's funny to see Mr. Ingo with such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court, and he wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet, defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Lon Ranch. Mind? What does that entail, exactly? I mostly they work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get pompous at times, and Mr. Ingo is a really great help. He built the ranch's silos single-handedly. Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information. Is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say they were like a big family. That sounds lovely. Sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Yo, truth? Truth, Nuke, whenever they say that you're like a family, run for the hills. Do not work there. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. Alright, what do we got? The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner of Talon partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malon. Talon became a life tenant with Malon and meant to inherit all the assets after his death. So long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. And there you have it. Testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant called red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. Objection. How do we know he's telling the truth? Bah, I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As for the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castle Town Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. Persecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Mr. Ingo, why would you? You should pass judgment now. The defense has nothing. Objection. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are irrelevant. But of course, ask whatever you'd like. Ingo can handle it. Very well, defense. Please begin. Judgment. I think it's like in all caps. Just a couple of days ago, the owner of Talon partly signed a range over to his daughter, Madeline. Talon became a lieutenant. Can we see like the exact details of it? Divided between the crown and the remaining employees. See, so like, she would still get a bit out of it, right? I mean, like, Ingo would still get a bit out of it. Luigi, why did badge on badge? So, I've been asking myself that for a while. Alright, so what we probably want to do is, like, press these statements, I'm gonna say. Like this right here. Like, it says right there that she would not get full, over it. It gets divided between the crown and all the other employees. Talon was getting older, perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling on to her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her. Ugh, that's alright. If she didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? Talon's only child, she still inherited the ranch. Oh, haha, that's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes, father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familiar bonds over his over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing I'd like the witness to explain. I had planned a murder for the day of the royal visitation, specifically. More people around means more witnesses. You think you have chosen any other day? Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd been signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head to Castletown to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, he had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. If I was planning to do that, and it wasn't an argument either. What do about this argument then? Yeah, because, what's it called? Zelda said she didn't hear anything, like it was quiet at the ranch. So that's suspicious. I'd be happy to, Your Honor. So the first thing I want to do here, I think, is this. Because Like, full inherit. Like, that's not what this says. How is that not right? Implying ranch workers are stupid? On the other hand, certain attorneys definitely are. See, like, Zelda's statement should be a contradiction to him here in an argument. Game's like, hey, consult Malon. So now he's saying, like I said, it's not true. Okay, I think we're going to have to, like, present the inheritance, and, like, one of these is going to be, like, how, like, he is in it still. 3 or 4 days, have been playing for a long time. Town was getting on in years, better to hear the matter sooner rather than later, eh? Malon? He is telling the truth. Father was scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. You mean by partly witness? Or it's like this statement, because this one says, like, not everybody, like, she's not getting sole inheritance. So many ungrateful bats throwing their old folks in their retirement, selling the moment's ownership signed to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him it was a safer option. If it goes up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision. That's horrible, I never do that. Since I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days. You feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. Why do you look at me when saying that? Anyway, what that meant was... So long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. Why would Malon want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Wah. She's often slacking on the job while I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Decuna doesn't fall as far from the tree as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job too. Ho ho. I do recall quite a funny story about the Lon Lon Ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal Coco, apparently. Ah, jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo. I think that's not true at all. I know. But how do I stop this? Oh, so okay, so it's only if she can't oversee it. Okay. Press the... Oh, what time this happened? First thing in the morning, I was sent out to the silo to start the day's work. I was at the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me. Do you remember any specifics about what was said? Oh yes, surprisingly enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like, I'm real sorry, Malin, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a safe supply of quality horses. I don't care. What about me, father? How can you do this to me? Malin, this isn't just about you, it's for the good of the entire kingdom. But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are here, and Ingo's always around to help with the chores, too. He's pretty great, isn't he? Yeah, Ingo is awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over. Sure. I'll take Things That Didn't Happen for 500. What a stirring reenactment. I'll keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. I would never want to sell the ranch. Well, of course you say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. Can't trust a thing she says. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that could refute this story? If you ask me, this whole narrative actually could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there would be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter, continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. See, like, I want to say, like, Zelda's statement, but I guess that's not it. I don't know, press this statement too, see if that does anything. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Let's look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift. Why yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. Add it to the testimony? Sure. Bah, what are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant, but I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to the testimony. Where did you see this? I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. Only Talon has spent as much on his salary for me, the hard-working Ingo. But he bought it like the day of. So, if he didn't go inside, he couldn't have seen it, right? That's the contradiction? What's your relationship with this guy, anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one. Talk about dedication. But even so, something's very much off here. So, but like, okay, so like he just said that he didn't go inside, so like, how could he have seen this? Yeah, okay, that's right here. Bought just before the crime, found at the crime scene. That's it. Witness. What is it? Just confirm, you say this bottle of perfume was bought from Malin by her father, correct? What else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes. Far from it. Just confirmed, he's stinky. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. The bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. Oh. So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned the talent bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? Sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared. When the news arrived, it would actually be the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town and got a new gift. This info puts one into question. Somebody's moved, because there's no way, according to that statement, that Ingo saw it. Because he said he overheard, didn't go in. Naturally, the person whose moves become suspect is Ingo, the witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene a witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Order. Order, order. The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you go to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was working in a silo all day. I remember. I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl's lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One word's against the other. Defense? Do you have any way to prove your version of events is true? Find the receipt? And the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. There was just someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume should be the one right on top. I believe this idea has some moment. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Oh, we got the receipts, gamers. Your Honor. Yes, what is it, soldier? We have just received a receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Exclamation points. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot riding on this. And from Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Ah, yes, I think I've seen that store. It's at a eccentric looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at its store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor? And the balloons! Oh, the balloons! That fool popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire, enough. Continuing on. Purchase item. 1 bottle of Rosy Rupee Land. Oh my, this is quite the price. Why, I would have to... Your Honor, please. The date of purchase? Ah, yes, right. Date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th, the day of the murder. Yeah. Order, order. Yes, we got him. Phew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Bah, still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness really went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen a bottle then. Oh, come on, you think we're going to believe that? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for further testimony. As witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day. Ha, my movements? Well, alright. It's not a whole lot to say, though. So unfortunately, I managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. Is this my chance? My non-suspicious movements. Definitely what someone who's not suspicious would say. As was already said, I have volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was that detective one fine woman. Okay. Alright, Ingo. See, I haven't done anything that warrants suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I'll pass. Must be something wrong in there. Can't put a flawless sword together that quickly. Alright. Time to press him. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. You send out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know? Milk bars. Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know. And milk is renowned as the finest there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though. Indeed. Tal and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that Ashika's forced investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah, you Hylians, ridiculous. Getting tipsy for something like milk? Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the Gerudo's noble pursuit, a real man's drink. A real man's drink. Aren't most of the Gerudo women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water. Yes, of course. You know the heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see. I got very thirsty and... Anything to just take a sip of the milk you were handling? No. It wouldn't be right. The milk was for the customers, you see. I just didn't want to get in any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he'd steal from his own workplace? Right. So what did you see in the house? Nothing much. Got my drink and left. Still a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember clearly now. It was there, on the table, plain as day. Muhaha. And you're able to complete this so quickly on your own? You don't know the might of the great Ingo. Hut, ya, pow, wham. I get things done in no time. I did almost bring my back in those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many, and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. Anyway, that's not important. Point is... Are you sure? Sure as can be, muhaha. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered? Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Deserving a crime scene or some such, I couldn't even get in any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It is important, Your Honor. I would like the witness to add his last statement to the testimony. What are you trying to pull now? Very well. Witness, please amend your statements. Yeah, fine, whatever. Couldn't you have stayed at an inn? Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? You lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry, I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? It's not the part I wanted to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, it'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker Ingo, see through your schemes. You're sticking to that story, huh? Yeah. It was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. So I'm impressed with more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. So it's gotta be this news statement that we got. I don't think there's anything in there. So is it like this? Like he's dressed up nicely? There's something seriously wrong with your testimony. But what are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they're all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in. That's right. Oh, that implies you should be still wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Oh, got him. The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to soil those clothes doing work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah. On the way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. And after all, I couldn't very well show up at court dressed like a bum. Oh. Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. But I need to repeat myself. Do I accept that explanation? No. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. What? Oh? How can you claim so? Defense. As you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove the witness couldn't have bought those clothes today or get out. I think it's that, because he's wearing them there. And also, we haven't used this as evidence yet. I would turn the court's attention to this. Ah. Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Reminds me of the idyllic days I spent with my What about this pictograph, defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. The same outfits. He couldn't have bought it today. Go! Order! I will have order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There, I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Bah, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He bought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. Oh. Oh. Yes, of course. I need to be presentable, after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecutor keeps up making excuses on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about the clothes for the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. The prosecutor's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Defense. The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternate version of events? This is big. I need to think this through. Ingo's acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Why would he be doing that? Ingo is the murderer. If it's not Malin, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did if I want to think Malin is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? They were eaten by a cow. Talon's blood got on him. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah Force have found the clothes in the house? How could it have disappeared? They were thrown in the fire. I think we got him cornered. Ingo burned his clothes. That's it. This explains everything. I feel like a Danganronpa moment right there, like putting everything together. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense. Judge, defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. Objection. And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No. It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah Force would have found them and we would be trying someone else for murder right now. Why, you're absolutely correct, Persecutor. Oh. Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes just lying around. And so he used this to dispose of them. The fire. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess's... the mysterious fire. Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned-out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about a witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No, hold on. What drivel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know it's impossible. What do you gotta say? Too busy for murder. Everything said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor, innocent Ingo. Alright, I think maybe we gotta use the false shipments here. Tried to remind you of defense, but you yourself were surprised Ingo was able to complete that shipment on time. And even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right. The great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. Must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I must find it. So yeah, he already had milk prepared to go out that day. Press the statement. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? Would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing these shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into crates, and load those onto a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get so little at a time. So as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Finally, we had to work together to have it done in time. There you go, defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth. So you can complete the shipments and also do the killing. In that case, there had to be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it. Present this here. But did you though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I tried to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure it looked that way. What are you getting at, defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk for me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown would be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know? Probably talk this out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. Water? I have to agree. This is definitely not standard milk. As you've heard from the princess and the detective, Longmont Ranch is renowned for its quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, defense? It's simple. I received this bottle from Detective Impa still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ugh. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. He used Game Shark. Order, order. Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all you had to do was milk fewer of the cows. Save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I guess you use about 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No... That... Talon... Let me stop you right there. Oh? I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you? Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know that he did go to the crime scene, and we know that he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there is a vital element missing still. But, let me put in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Rebutal. The Moida weapon. You lacked a murder weapon. If Inga was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on defense is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? Yeah, I mean, there is only one wood saw. The saw was the murder weapon. How could it have been in two places at once? I mean, maybe it wasn't this, like, what if it was like a rake? Yeah, okay, let's agree on that. You do realize the problem that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. Ha, as if. Very well, let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would it suppose murder weapon even come from? Yeah, like it could have been like a rake, could have been like a number of these things here. Have you gotten his murder happened on a ranch? Plenty of sharp things on site. Ho ho. That's simply impossible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. The cloth. What? Damn. He got my ass. Press the statements. Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? But all these traces, not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, other beings like the Zoras can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Sheikah Force employs people just for this task. Also, as Long Range focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no real reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. I had to rethink this. Alright, now I'm thinking like he sent it out on one of the shipments. Disposed of it? No, because they checked the no items in the ranch's inventory list were missing. And like one is like again like the oil is not on this list. Yeah, Mr. Dragmire is a good lawyer. You use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... So I think it's the oil bottle, because like there's nothing about that on this list. That's not it? I thought that'll be it. No items were missing. I mean, isn't this like present the inventory? Because there's like various things that could be weapons. The list itself is false. Oh, because it's because he wrote it. Ingo wrote it. Something about the inventory itself. A brief look. Kano's going on making some general statements defense. Point out what exactly about the inventory makes the suspects. Yeah, right here? See? Ingo. Just look here. The one who compiled that list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. Wouldn't Ingo have been able to throw the item over the fence? Bah, obviously we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. Most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? I guess the milk shipments? Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous. Have gone to such shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they're allowed to leave? That's true, but there is a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you babbling about? Talking about bog standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons with nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked the contents the crates. The contents of the bottles? What's on this list? I mean, like, you could maybe put like a knife into a bottle, but that's like about it. I don't think it's like one of the bottles he like stuffed a knife into. I think that's like too much of a stretch. The actual, like, the crates themselves? Like, maybe use, like, a piece of wood? Use wood? The weapon is definitely metal. Plus, the weapon was wood, he would just burn it together with his clothes and sure never find it. Your entire argument is this point, you know? Try to think their answer a bit more carefully next time. Bah, got us. Hey, monkey, you choose Shank. Yeah, I guess it is, like, inside the bottle is what happened. I mean, I guess, like, it doesn't matter what's on the list, because we know that, like, the oil's not on there, so, like, some sort of weapon could just, like, not be on the list. Alright, yeah, so we agree with that. Alright, no, went by too quickly. Gotta hit. Now listen here. Silence. Wow. Can you just dispose of it in some way? However, Ingo wrote it. One about this list was Ingo himself. Are you really sure nothing of the ranch? Bet you will ship me some milk. Contents of the bowls. Without ruining the shipments. Go. That's right. Ingo put them inside the bottles, Amiso said. Now wait just a moment. A weapon in the milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed, someone would have reported it. How can you be so sure? Do you know how much milk an average bar uses each day? All those shipments have most certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure. Choked on it even if they took too large of a swig. It would be a huge scandal. He's right about that. However, there was a return because of a wrong address. You would be correct, the weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. What a pun. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No. Indeed. If you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. Cool. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a little longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because their word is starting to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you're even asking about it. This evidence clearly explains your motive. The motive was that Ingo needed to take an ad break. I've already snoozed them and I don't want to keep snoozing them. So we'll just take a quick little break while we're all hyped up here. We'll be back in just like 3 minutes. Bet that'd be nasty. Imagine like opening up like a bottle of milk and there's like a Morita weapon in it. Definitely like that. Alright, court is back in session. Alright, motive should be the inherence. Employees as well. Oh. What? You don't want to kill Talon, but decide to frame Malon for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work at a silo all day, gave you an alibi so that Malon would be the only possible culprit. Of course, you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malon would go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no. What are you talking about? Talon signed the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is this, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch already knows something to arrive without on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, well, well. Let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... I guess this little red thing here. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. It's a knife. Some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could these Chica idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. Took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Grrr. Oh, I've had it. Fine, fine. You want to know why? You want to know why I really killed that scumbag? No, no, what are you? So, you admit it? Yes, yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish without any reason? Fired, farewell, we don't need you anymore. What? That doesn't make any sense. Ho-ho, don't lie, I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Malon and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malon, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it. Damn. Order! The witness will cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Wait just a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl? Want to apologize what you've done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? Blah? They were probably like talking like let's let them go on vacation. And he was like, they want to fire me, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. do worry somewhat about that old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish to take a step back and relax some. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. There's an idea. We can handle everything without them. Just... That's... You were planning... What? A vacation for me? And I did... No. No, it can't be so. Please, say it isn't so. What? We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. Misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only by his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot dressed like a clown. Aw. Jeez, he's really laying into him. I bet he's as upset because he lost. Prosecution's ran at the side. I think it's time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Couldn't handle the cuckoos. Yeah, miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I am very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. Aw, that's us. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Aw, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Hylia and sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malon of Lon Lon Ranch not guilty. We badged. Court is adjourned. Mario would not be allowed to leave. We did it! I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I'd ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honest. I mean, yeah, he literally killed your dad. I wouldn't forgive him either. Though you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. It's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I know you pulled through. Oh, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you. Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness. I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings does anybody have to pull together here? I was, but I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There is no need to bow, not after what I have done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury is, pretty serious, so it's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things we should think twice about doing in the future. It's all thanks to you that the young lady over there finally went free. Huh? What? Come on, attorney. Show Her Highness what I'm talking about. What, the badge? Well... And just shot me in the most unimpressed face. I want to show her my badge. Never mind about that. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Well, sure. 10 hut. Why are there 10 huts? We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Ah, just in time. Farewell, your highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn how to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Blah? Blah? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What, is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then, my duty is called, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust I'll be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You! Front-facing Ganondorf looks kind of weird. Hello. Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that blasted detective go? To have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. Damn. Dramatic much? Looks about ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? No? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. Whoa. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember there was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there's some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cocoa on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations. Well, that just happened. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say it's entirely blameless. Never mind that. You think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Slow as my father might have seemed, he really did prepare for me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended the very personal case for me. Felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Now I'll continue work at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what their father was able to accomplish. Didn't really think much about it. The days following was some of the happiest I've lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I found myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Alright, that was Hero of Law. Okay, that was pretty fun. Cool little ROM hack. Yeah, so they they ROM hacked this little, I guess, team here. I don't think it was just one person. ROM hacked Ocarina of Time to become a ace attorney. Yeah, there we go. Wow, that was fun. Cool. Well, once this is all over, though, we're not done for today. We're going to segue into another game called A Bird Story. Like I said earlier in the stream, this is a part of the whole like To the Moon series. We did the 2 mini episodes earlier this week. We're going to do a bird story today, and then a Monday is going to be Finding Paradise. Jimbo Slim. What a name. I know, there's going to be a bird, there's going to be a story. Oh, it's Ingo. Locked up. Wait, was I in his cell with him? It looks like some like random model. The case kind of sucks though, right? Because like Ingo murdered him for like a misunderstanding. It's kind of like, well, awkward. Full Ace Attorney case. No, the only thing missing was that we need to have a Kuko come up as a witness and cross-examine it. Also, when they like randomly tossed in, like there was like a Zelda had like an older sister who like died randomly. That was just kind of like a thing. But yeah, like if they ever make like another, like do like another episode, we'll totally play it. Thought that was pretty fun, pretty solid. And you, chat, thanks for playing. The end. Question mark. Scene selects. Extra number 1. Meanwhile, somewhere else.